Welcome back. It almost kind of worked that time. I think I figured out how to get the scene set up so it transitioned. But now I need to fix the gap in the music so that we don't have like that 1 minute pause. Welcome back, everybody, to the Creative Economy. It's our weekly interview series. We'll be interviewing voices and players from the creator economy at large and discussing key topics impacting the growth of the creator sector. We go live on Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Pacific time. You can find out more over at created.show. It's our official show page, so be sure to check it out. We do stream live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn, Clubhouse today for our special guest, as well as Twitter Spaces on the regular. So feel free to pick your poison if you prefer listening or watching. We're not the prettiest to look at, so maybe you want to listen.
Speak for yourself.
We also do have longer form content and our show notes up over at creativeeconomy.com. It's our official site. So feel free to head over there, join our mailing list, get updated about all our new and upcoming episodes as they happen as well. So, Ken, how you doing?
I am good. I mean, another week is upon us. We're almost into the end of the fall or beginning of the fall. I don't know. Whatever. What even is time
September
anymore?
22nd, I believe, is the beginning of fall. Yes.
Oh, I don't know. We've been trapped indoors for months. Who the hell knows at this point, right? But things are good. Now we're kind of getting into the swing of things. All you need to do is get your transitions going. Wow, that was pretty cool. Little camera fade you got going on there. But things are going as they are. How about you? How was your weekend?
Not bad. I did a very long bike ride.
Nice.
I did 77-mile ride and basically broke my knee. So I've been I rode up to Boulder over the weekend, and I've been trying to figure out how to get back to walking normally. I haven't even gone to the gym. It's been terrible. But anyway, that is not why we are here. Everyone, let's dive into it. We have an amazing guest. Our friend Lily is going to be with us, but let's get through some of our bookkeeping, of course. Today is September 15th. It would have been my dad's 80th birthday, by the way. Welcome back to episode 16 of The Creative Economy. We just found out today that we passed more than 1,400 views on our YouTube channel alone. So that was pretty exciting to see. In case you don't know, though, this is a two-part show. So we do our interviews and deep dives today on Wednesdays, and we also have our new show on Friday mornings at 8 a.m. Pacific time. So feel free to tune in, where we will round up all of the top creator economy news for you as well. So feel free to tune in then. What else do we have going on here? I'm clicking the wrong screen. All right. By the way, make sure you follow us. We're Creative Economy everywhere: YouTube, Flipboard, Twitter, Clubhouse, and Twitch. So we look forward to seeing you on one of those channels. We appreciate your subscription. And by the way, we are doing a drop that just started. So if you are interested in getting some of our free AMA coin, what does that get you? It gets you the opportunity to get a shout out on the show, gets you a fast track to sort of asking questions and being featured, and maybe even being one of our deep dive guests. So head over, scan that QR code. You can literally take that and I will send you some free money. Don't worry, I took it out of Ken's bank account, so he won't. In addition, we do have our own Slack channel. It is a place to connect with other builders and creators. So head over to bit.ly/created-slack. You could also scan this QR code if you want. It's an opportunity for you to have an ongoing conversation with us while we plan and prepare and discuss all the other topics that are going on. So with all of that out of the way, let's get into the most important part of the show, which is our interview today with my friend, Lilly Han Scott, of the Hyphenova Network. I will have her explain, but there was a recent name change. Nothing changing in purpose or intent, but certainly a very interesting name that my 6-year-old, who's an astronomer in the making, would love for many reasons. So with
he's into astronomy now, is he?
Dinosaurs and astronomy, they all go together, of course, right? Because who killed who? Dinosaurs. So let's get Lily in here and let's get into the convo. How are you doing?
Hey guys, glad to be here. And Greg, I didn't know that your son was such a lover of astronomy. That's amazing.
We have a very thick book that we read every night with him. It's like The Secrets of the Universe or something. And we've literally read through it like 20 times now. So
that's amazing. I love that. Well,
actually, last night we were talking about the Horseshoe Nebula or something like that.
Well, next time I have trouble coming up with a company name, I know who to call. So
there you go. So, before we dive in, though, just Lily, can you tell us who you are, a little bit about yourself, before the Hyphenova Network? Tell us more about you.
Super happy to be here, guys. So I feel like this is like BH before Hyphenova. So before this came about, I did a variety of different things. I've got a very non-traditional path, if you will. So I actually started off, and this is where the mission of Hyphenova actually comes from. I actually started off doing public health and service for the people. I did a lot of work actually with the HIV/AIDS community, a lot of indigenous communities, underrepresented communities, and continued that work for many years, and sat on some HIV/AIDS commissions and spent a long time actually fighting for health justice and access rates. And fast forward, a few years later, I also ended up working a lot with startups, started my own company. I then later ended up working also in the financial services sector, did a lot of work with startups in that capacity as well. I ran startup weekends, I ran other incubator type programs, was a key part of a lot of different mentorship programs that dealt with tech. In particular, one is called the Network for Teaching Entrepreneurship. I was a longtime mentor over there with high school students, which I absolutely loved. I loved working with them. I love seeing people bring new things to life. It's something that has just kept me energized basically every day. And, fast forward a couple years later, ended up launching Propel, which is an incubator, again, for underestimated founders, which I'm very passionate about. And I view the work of Hyphenova really, I'm sure we'll dive into this more, but it's really an extension of a lot of those experiences combined.
So I mean, you've had this amazing career. Like you're talking about like helping, underserved, underrepresented individuals, with whether it's in health or anything like that. Like, how did you go from that to focusing on creators? Like, what was it about creators as opposed to all the other things that underrepresented individuals are facing? Like, what is it about the creators that drew your attention?
So many things. I mean, well, first of all, just having an ability to have an audience to get the message out. Now that I've worked in so many different sectors, I've just seen the incredible importance of being able to have a platform, frankly, where you can get heard. And so many of us, creator or not, it's really important to just be heard at the very core crux of being a human being, frankly. And then when you layer on mission and purpose and values and all these other things there, the heart behind it, frankly, is just too compelling to not do something about it. And a lot of the other organizations that I've worked with really struggle to find innovative ways to reach a lot of people in a way that, frankly, is a lot more accessible, a lot more affordable these days, and frankly easier. It's so much easier now. And when I work with a lot of startups, they're always coming. They're asking, "Hey, how do we reach a lot of people? How do we do our marketing? What's the best way that we can actually reach our audience?" And when you look at the creator space, I mean, this is where it's at. I mean, the direction of where we're going, being able to actually be heard, and you don't need to be, quote, famous, frankly, to be heard now. That's what I absolutely love about it. I myself do shows, I myself reach out. First of all, it's fun. So I do a lot of different shows. I do trivia every week. That's really fun. I also do a campfire thing. I also do a tech podcast. So I do a lot of different things myself. But even beyond that, I also see that just, through my other friends and the work that I do, frankly, just the importance of being able to have a community. And that's what we're growing also with Hyphenova, is really a community of creators, and also one that's a mission-driven community as well.
So is there I know you kind of did the shift. So originally it was under the Lilly Network, and now it's the Hyphenova. So two parts here. One, what has the URL changed? Have you set up a website for that, and what would that be? And then two, what was the etymology behind the name Hyphenova? Sorry.
Yeah, so before we get to that, actually, so Lily Pad actually came out. I will say I did not think of that name. It was not something that I decided to name after myself. So I just want to put that out there. It was really because we were having a lot of shows, frankly, on the green room, and folks were coming in every day, and other folks actually named it Lily Pad. So it just was an organic name that kind of came to be. It was a fun name. Yeah. We enjoyed that name, but we wanted something with a little bit more mission to it, and we wanted something that frankly spoke to more people, and that wasn't so narrowly focused. It didn't have to be named, Lily Pad, but it served a good purpose, and it was good. We had a little beta. We talked to a lot of different creators. We got some different shows in the pipeline, and it was fantastic. But I love the spirit of Hyphenova, and really the essence of it. It's a multi-mission name. So the first part of it is really a tribute to multi-hyphenates. So, which I find is really, I'll say, apropos, right, for being on, the Create Economy show, right, because it's really about people that are creators, and we do different things, and the shows are really going to speak to that as well. So we've got a lot of really interesting folks that have expressed interest in creating shows with us that, for example, they're a dad, but then they also love to travel, and then they're a vegan, and then other folks that are like, hey, you know what, we want to work with other creators and founders and talk to them. Other people want to go behind the scenes of the music industry and talk about the hustle associated with breaking into the music industry, right? So there's all these different dynamics and energies of people that do different things, and a lot of things are kind of let's put it this way, it's multi-layered, right? It's not just, a stereotype. And I think that's something that I also want to show the world, that no matter what we maybe physically look like, we have a lot going on. We've got a lot of interest, a lot of complexities, a lot of depth. And I want to be able to show that and express that through a show mechanism. I think, TV and streaming, it's an amazing opportunity to really do that. And then the other thing about Hyphenova is really, the fun element of it too. It's just, the nickname Hype, and the fact that it also has a sense of, associated with hypernovas, which, is kind of the creation of the universe and star formation. And, it's kind of like a big boom, and there's an energy that speaks that hypernovas are even more powerful than supernovas. So it's really kind of a nice play on words between the multi-hyphenate and then the spirit of hypernovas.
Yeah, we have the Hyphenova website on the screen right now for those that are listening in. And you can go to HYP or hyphenova.com actually.
Yes.
is or the short URL is hyp.tv.
Correct.
You can go there as well.
Correct. Yes.
So just to for everyone who's listening, what is the purpose? I guess, like, why should a creator, or why does a creator want to join the network? And sort of like, what is the function of what is the role of the network, sort of, I guess, in the creator's life cycle?
Well, first of all, we believe we have something very special and very unique, because it is going to be, first of all, extremely accessible to people. Second of all, there's a lot of opportunities for people to be part of this without having to pay money, which I think is really great. We also, for those that want to sign on and really be with us, there's a lot more opportunities to actually partake in the upside with very low risk on their part, whether it's rev shares, whether it's actually equity stakes. We've linked up with companies that do 401ks. We're looking into other financial benefits that traditionally, I think, were held by a lot of corporate entities. So we're really providing a lot of things that are, I believe, very special for creators, and even the ownership of the rights of the work that they do. It's we want people to have that ability to have the creative control. We want them to be able to, have the rights and have things like last after them, right? So it's really it's just a great opportunity, and we're doing this really. Hopefully, it will obviously be saying that we can grow together, and it was really a collective effort, right? So as we grow, we want them to grow, and we grow together. So that's really the purpose and the mission behind it.
So earlier on, I think like last week, we had someone on the show who talked about, who was part of co-founding an organization called Black Creator Crew, right? And it's all to support creators of color. And it's very similar to what you're doing with Hyphenova, I'm not saying that there has to be a differentiate, but I'm kind of like, I think for people who are interested in these type of programs and feel like there is that support for them out there, which is a great thing. What is it like? How can they figure out which one is the best for them? Right. And it's not a it's like, oh, competitive analysis. It's more like, where do I actually get more value from? And it's a legitimate question that people will have.
I agree. And it's the same question about incubators, frankly. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing, right? And my response is always that people should explore all of them. Mm-hmm. People need to go where they feel most comfortable at the end of the day, right? And, whether it's being part of our community, whether it's watching our shows, whether it's being a creator on the shows, we want people who feel like they resonate with what we do. Just like any other thing in the economy, right? Not everything is going to speak to someone else, and they might like one show on ours and they like another show on someone else. That would not be that unusual, frankly, and I think that's all beautiful and welcome. I don't feel any sort of threat or competition by that at all. I actually just welcome it. I think we need more of these at the end of the day, and more access and more shows and more resources and more platforms for people. I hope more are actually created at the end of the day. I think it's fantastic. And the other thing I would say too is that I don't know much about the other one, so all I can do is speak about Hyphenova. For us, we're structured as a B Corp, and so we take that very seriously. We're going to be going through the process, and right now we filed as a benefit corp, and so there is embedded in this a very serious, for good, social good mission. That's part of what we do. The way we're going to structure the ownership of the company, the way that we're structuring, the revenue share and the profit sharing. again, I can't speak to how others are structured. I can just tell you that what we're doing, it's not common. I don't see this in a lot of our social networks, frankly, at all. I don't see this in any major media station ever. I've never seen anything structured this way. So I do believe we're very unique in those respects.
So you would say, you would equate Hyphenova to being more because what you're talking about with different shows and as we're reading through, as I'm reading through your website here, let me just kind of put that back on here. Yes, there we go. Would you would equate this to being basically a media platform, almost like a CNN or a Discovery or anything like that, as opposed to an accelerator incubator specifically for underrepresented creators, right?
That's
I mean, you're specifically helping underrepresented creators put out shows, almost like a YouTube Studios, but across different platforms. Is that a roundabout way of describing what you do?
And I also want to say, though, we're very focused on global. So we have folks that will be coming in from other countries as well. So it won't be just a U.S. domicile type of a network. That's the other thing, because the beauty of being streaming, I realize not all social platforms are available in all countries. We know not all, all these networks are available in every country, right? But they're available in a lot of countries. And so we do plan on having creators come in from other countries, other regions. I mean, we already have folks that are part of our network that are from other countries, frankly. So, that's also another thing that, we take very seriously, because we want people to be exposed to different ways of doing business, different perspectives. Now, sometimes it is a little bit harder to travel. So the more we can expose people to other parts of the world with ease, is something that we're looking forward to doing too.
Yeah. So I don't want to monopolize the entire conversation. I'm very fascinated by this. So, what do you offer those creators as they come on board, right? And two, can you specify how they're some of these some of the work that's being already produced, and where can we see them?
Yeah. So right now, what we're doing is we're having a couple things. Well, one, there's going to be a casting call. So there's a place on the website to apply. So we have a number of show concepts, and more details will be released about those. But we are looking right now for folks who are interested, in particular, if they have startups or they're on the investor side. We have some show concepts that we want to start casting for, specifically for those. In addition, we're also going to have shows where people can come on and they can either be part of shows that incorporate pitches or incorporate, founders, right? So that's another area. Two, people can obviously bring their own shows over. So we welcome all of that. And I hope people do consider doing that, because we have the ability to help to look for, brand sponsorships and other, PR as well to go with it, to hopefully help to support the creators again and gain a broader reach. The other thing that is really beautiful about this is that we also offer slots for advertising. So we will have some that will just be free, that some creators can literally just apply for, and they won't have to pay for it, and they can get professionally done advertising slots, which is really great too. And so there's just a lot of things that people can be part of that we want to welcome out to the community. And then again, for people who want to have a regular show, then we can talk to them about what that looks like. We can partner with them, get them onboarded into the network, and have them be part of Hyphenova.
Quick programming note. If you do have a question for Lily, feel free to drop it into the comment section or DM it to me on Clubhouse or on Twitter if there is a question there. So Lily, it seems like you're somewhat early, I guess, in the process.
Yeah.
Let's fast forward a little bit here then. What does launch day look like? How does this manifest, right? Is this Ken mentioned sort of like a CNN model, but that's like a programmed out sort of 24 hours of programming. There's someone in charge of sort of like every minute of every day that's sort of pre-planned, pre-scheduled, pre-pushed.
Yep.
Or is this a calendar of all the people who are in the network and where they're going to be live? Is it video? Is it audio? Is it on Clubhouse? Is it on Vimeo? I'm still having a hard time, I guess, conceptualizing what this was. So maybe let's fast forward to what you think the day of launch looks like.
Well, I do want to say that the really cool, exciting thing is that on top of this, we have both ability to debut shows, so live premieres, right, and live streaming, just like what we're doing here, right here today. But we also are all video on demand. So all the shows that get created can just be rewatched. So it's really beautiful. So people can literally go back to Apple TV and watch the series, watch the episode right there. And then in addition, they can do the chatting, the function right there live with the creators, just like we're doing here, right into the chat, right in StreamYard. There's other apps that we use as well. And there's other functionality that folks can do. Not surprisingly, right? So they could even say, well, we don't want to do the official live premiere through the network, but they just have their own watch party, frankly, and they tell all their fans to show up at a certain time, and they just go live and then watch the video on demand with them together and interact and do the live Q&A with them right there. So there, because it's housed in there and there is the ability to go back and watch things, it's great, and personally for us, we want more creators to do this and to be able to put their content in multiple places. So we also offer, just like a lot of our platforms, frankly, but it'll be automatically turned into a podcast, right? We're linking up with professional post grade, editing, right? So if people need something that is a little bit more, edited and spliced together, then we can link them up with, post-production editors to get things, kind of put together a little bit more, saying that they might want to shop around, frankly, at the end of the day. Maybe they want to try to sell it. Maybe they want to, do something with that. We welcome that. So, I mean, there's a lot of opportunities that people can do with the content that is created.
So how do you determine the type of stories that you tell, right? Because it seems like right now you are the facilitator for all of this, right? So say, for example, in this case, hi, I want to take this show and have it go reach a wider audience, right? So we're having this conversation. It's like, hey, Lily, Greg and I, we think we're done doing this. We want to up our game, right? And we need your help. We apply. What is that process like? And then once we get approved, can you walk us through from something to actually, hey, here's our pilot episode, or here's our movie, film, whatever that output is. Can you walk us through that?
Definitely. So we've already done a number of different things. So some folks come to us and they say, hey, we've got a full show idea. They want to produce everything start to finish. So for us, it's simply just distribution, and we help them to try to get brand deals if that's what they want. If they want, commercials, only if they want that, then we can say, yes, we can help you. We can talk about some sort of rev share with them, but we can deploy our resources and our team to do that. Now, on the other side, some people say, they come and they say, hey, you know what? I've got a show concept. I want to make a pilot. So then I'm actually literally writing show Bibles right now for some of our shows.
Mm-hmm.
And so really kind of getting in, quote, the weeds and looking at the show concept. And if we like it, I mean, there's a committee of us, but if we like it, then we might say, yeah, we're going to take it upon us to actually work with it. So I'm personally the one calling a bunch of producers right now and talking to filmmakers and crews and seeing who can do it, where they can do it. Are they going to shoot it on location? How many teams do they need? What do they need to do? Film the pilot and sizzle reel and put it together. Other people are more like, hey, you know what? I want to kind of keep it simple, do something a little bit more just Q&A, like literally like what we're doing now. We want Q&A with some folks, bring some folks in. We want to make them feel comfortable at home. We're looking at a variety of virtual platforms for that, and also a variety of teams that are proficient in knowing how to do video, virtual video filming. So
why is this? And I don't mean this to be in a negative way, but like, why is this necessary? Like, I mean,
yeah.
I'm kind of just curious, like, why are there no studios that are out there doing a good enough job at helping to tell stories, helping to tell the stories of underrepresented creators? I mean, could YouTube not be doing this? Because YouTube has their studios, right?
Agreed.
But why aren't more people doing this?
Agreed. But YouTube, you're relying on YouTube ads and your own hustle.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to monetize, you get your own team to help you monetize, and then you're just relying on the YouTube algorithm, frankly, at the end of the day. And you can source your own brand deals. And frankly, we welcome all that too. If people want to do that, the more the merrier. We're not discouraging anyone, frankly, from doing any of those opportunities. This is just an additional opportunity, because you can reach literally millions of people, which brings in through the advertising. The AVOD is huge. It's booming, and it's a significant amount of money that creators can take in, and you can reach way more eyeballs. And if you're mission focused, you want to reach more people. And at the end of the day, something that I've seen just so true and so powerful is that messages are not heard by people telling you what to think. Messages are not heard by someone getting up and just talking at them. That's not how they're heard. It's heard through stories. It's heard through relatability. It's heard through connecting within our individual. And you do that through these different mechanisms of creators and shows and telling stories and then retelling the stories, and people tell their friends. Because even when they connect through the story itself, then they go back to work or they tell their friends or they tell their family, I saw this great show. This thing was so impactful. It made me think about something new. And that's how you start to actually change people's minds and change people's hearts and open people up to new ways of thinking and just expose people to other parts of the world.
Yeah.
It's very powerful.
I was going to say, this is a fairly broad mandate, though, I guess, in diversity of content, which you don't usually see sort of commingled, right? Like CNN just does the news all the time, or ESPN, they don't tend to be movies. And
they are starting to do more original content, those type of things. Like
a little bit. No, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just curious though, what does that mean relative to the ideal creator, profile, I guess, relative to you? For anyone listening who may be saying hey, I wonder if I should bring my idea to you, what does that person look like? How much should they have planned or done or completed, or is there anything required? Because I can imagine for some topics, you're looking to slot in just a great personality in a topic area, right? And for other things, it's I'm looking for inventive, storylines that maybe we could bring to life, right? I'm just curious, if you have an idea or a sense of what your ideal sort of creator profile is, relatively speaking.
Yes. So we are looking for people who are, first of all, passionate about our mission and passionate about what they're doing, and obviously feeling comfortable on camera. That's the other piece of this, right? And obviously we can
Video.
help
So
people
definitely video
to become that, right? We can help people there, but they have to already, I think, have that inside them and want to do that, right? That's a key part of this. But the other thing is, we ask for a 3-minute demo, right? We want to kind of see people explain what they're doing. We want to see examples of their work, just so we know we're, generally speaking, we're on this kind of same page conceptually with what they're trying to do. We will support people. So if they are at the beginning and it is an idea, we're actually providing some content right now that will go up as part of the community that will walk them through different paths. So it will say, hey, if you come in with a concept, here's some resources and people and classes that you may want to consider doing if you want to go beyond kind of like a Q&A, a vlog, or a podcast, right? If you want to do something that's more in the drama or the docuseries style, these are the kinds of things that you'll need to think about, from a budget, from a crew, walking through just the different components. And we're going to point them to other experts. And we're going to say, hey, you know what? I'm not receiving money for this, but I'm just gonna say, XYZ class is gonna be really great, right? Check out this other creator. It could be literally someone that has a whole class, or it could just be our creators on TikTok, but just ones that give amazing advice and that we feel like are of value. We're gonna point people there to other communities, because there's a lot of amazing art communities. Again, this isn't about just only come to us and don't go anywhere else. No, we want people to know where to go. And a lot of times folks they might come in with an idea, but they might not know how to get to the next point. Yeah. And so we want to provide that guidance to them and work with them if they want to. That's always available to them.
What is your take from all of this, financially speaking, right? I mean, so, and I guess it might vary based on the type of support that you provide that creator, yes. Right? But do you have can you give us some sort of an idea in terms of, because I as we talk in the show about all these type of things, we always want to think about the transactional fees that are associated with what would Hyphenova be?
Yeah, of course, right? Totally good and fair question. I'm going to say this. I'm going to give some examples because there's no hard and fast rule because everybody's going to come in from a different place. So let's say someone comes in and they say, you know what, I don't need really much support. I'm good to go. I just want to deploy it. We're going to say, great, as long as it's something that meets it. And if it's over X number of certain hours, then we might say, you know what, for that, we're going to need to shop it around and get some brand deals in order to support that so that we can put it on. If we want to do it at basically like a no cost to them or very low cost to them, then we would just say, hey, give us something and let's work to package it up and get a brand deal and put it on. If we aren't successful with that, then we're going to say, you know what, put it on for a little bit of time and then we'll help to support you in other avenues. But if we can't really shop it, we can't sustain having it on for like an elongated period of time, but we're happy to still put them on for a few episodes, right? Some people might be okay with paying a fee. That's fine too. I'm okay with that. There's no obligation though. I'm not looking for that. And frankly, it'd be a de minimis fee anyways. And if they want to pay it, then that's fine. And by de minimis, I mean like less than a couple $100. Like, I mean, really like very de minimis kind of a fee. So it is very accessible if people really want to do it. They want to do it regularly. Again, the main thing is going to be if they want to do something where it takes a higher level of production, that's really where we really need to talk about the resources, right? Because like any sort of production, it literally can range from, hundreds of dollars to thousands of dollars to millions of dollars. And it really depends on what people want to do and how much capital they want to deploy in it, how much they're looking to raise themselves, because they can always go to other locations to raise it. We may say we're good with putting in some money ourselves, right? And kicking off and co-producing a pilot, which is what I'm in discussions with doing with some people. And in that case, we split the proceeds. We come up with some sort of split and we just say, hey, it's a rev share. In other cases, we might say, okay, we're going to literally co-produce it and we co-own it. And it's at the start. And that's what we agree to do. We know what the budget is we're looking at. And we're in some discussions that look much more like that. With other folks, I'm going to say, you know what, I'm okay paying X amount. I'll produce your pilot. Yeah. I'm willing to do it because I really believe in the concept. I think they're a big enough name. I'll produce it and I'll shop it around. So literally it'll range up and down the spectrum based on what they're trying to do, based on their track record, based on the reach that they're looking to achieve.
So can you talk in terms of the, on the flip side, right? I mean, you work with a lot of creators, but what about the builders, right? Those that are the entrepreneurs, the founders of companies, like for example, Greg's company, or anybody else, the Kojis of the world, the Instagrams of the world, the fame, all these companies that these founders that are like, hey, we have these services that are great for creators, and we see what you're doing at Hyphenova in terms of their storytelling from a video aspect. We think our service could be helpful to in the process. Do you have any kind of experience right now with that?
We do have some that we already have set up. And we welcome that with very careful vetting and very careful experience and recommendations. And I don't want to just jump in with frankly any vendor. For us, it's going to be a matter of quality and making sure that we understand what the vendor is offering at the end of the day. A lot of the people that we're working with, I'm their customer, so I can very sincerely and with depth say that I recommend them because I personally have paid them money. Yeah. And so that's why I started with those folks, because I know the quality of their work.
Right. Yeah. So we have a question here from Stacy via LinkedIn, via Greg's LinkedIn. So question, do you ever need, and this is to you, Lily, do you ever need to source custom music for your customers, and how do you go about finding it, if so? She has a client looking to license and create music for creators. So I guess this is a nice little pitch to you as well. So, yes. But do you have any?
We do, and we've had some discussion with some many musicians already, actually, because we one of our partners is launching a music label. So this has come up a number of times, and we definitely welcome it. And in fact, some of them are actually looking for music scores and music pieces for actually some Hollywood movies. Right. So I will say, even if it's not for Hyphenova, I will just put it out there. This is just, again, trying to do good for the world here, because I would only want to welcome more opportunities for people who could maybe really make it on a major film. And so, yes, if people are looking for that, I would just say, please apply. And it's the same thing when people apply in my incubator and it's not a right fit. I always refer them, and vice versa through other investor channels. It's the exact same way. And we can always talk to them and say, you know what, your stuff is really great. I don't have a show right now for you. However, I am aware of XYZ other opportunity, over here, and we're happy to talk with them. So, yeah. Stacey, a pleasure. So I truly love helping people, and so the more that I can do it, I welcome that. And if I can ever do something to help someone or point them in a direction, I will certainly do that for people. So, great question.
So, Lily, what about let's talk. I want to dive a little deeper into this B Corp aspect. What this company that's a B Corp, and your focus in terms of the underrepresented creators.
Yeah.
And I would imagine that, well, I guess a two-part question here is, a lot of creators, you see it with tech now, the ephemeral messaging, like, the TikToks or the Instagram reels, or like super short, document forms of content out there right now. And then you see things like Quibi, which was in a way was almost similar to what Hyphenova is doing, right? But it's very bite-sized, like 10 minutes or each episode, but that failed. Are you looking to produce more longer form type of content? Like, and I mean, like, not like just 10 minutes, maybe like 30 minutes, like traditional short form versus, 3-hour long movies. Like, what are we talking about here?
Okay, so I'm going to say this, and I'm guessing, I would love to hear your take on this as well, as creators too. So my personal opinion is that not all content belongs in all places, and not for all audiences, and not for the same consumption, right? So that's actually one of the first things that we're going to talk to people about, is what channels you want to use. Mm-hmm. Just because we're available on like 8 places doesn't mean you necessarily have to be on 8 places. You can if you want to, and I think it's great. And you could be on 20 for all I care. Seriously, like, I think that's fantastic. And in reality, with so many social audio apps and all these other creator apps that are popping up every day, in all reality, there probably will be 20 before I blink my eye. So I do think that's all great and good, right? But to answer your point, I do think that for some content, it is best left as, like, a 15-second thing, a 30-second thing, and that is the way that people are used to consuming it. And you need to meet the needs of the consumers at the end of the day.
But but Hyphenova is not doing that. When a creators apply, you're not saying like, oh, you want to create a TikTok video. No. That's not your specialty. Your specialty is a little bit more longer form.
Specialize in TikTok per se, although we will spice down people's content into short form to meet the needs of TikTok and Instagram Reels. Gotcha. So that definitely, we will do that. We know how to do that. We can put all the captions and make everything look amazing, right? So there's definitely the ability to do all that, because again, that's where eyeballs are. I'm going to say this though, if someone wants to be a TikTok creator, they need to stay on TikTok, because that's what TikTok is good at.
Yeah.
Right. Like, they don't need to come here, right? Like, again, it's just like you were asking earlier, why should someone come here? I'm going to say because you want to reach millions of people. And there's a demographic that loves still watching things on big screens at the end of the day. And frankly, that's where advertisers live. And that's where some of the larger money is. And especially if we create it with a strong storyline, that's something that sells, and you can reach people with what you're trying to do. Not everybody's going to want to do that. Everybody's going to want to do that. And I think that's great, Yeah.
What about the stories that you want to tell, right? I mean, and this goes back to the second part of the question, is about the B Corp and underrepresented creators. Are there things that you won't help produce? Like the type of stories that you won't help produce? Like, I mean, you talk about having creators from all around the world. There's obviously plenty of stories around the world besides, here in the US. But like, are there specific stories that you won't touch, or things that you're angling more towards as being a B Corp, or is that just kind of all tangentially related?
It's difficult because it starts to feel like censorship, and that makes me uncomfortable. But I would just say that like it's really the heart and the message of it, because we do want people to feel empowered, inspired. We want, there's a message on our website about taking action, feeling heard. So if there's messages in there that kind of go against those values, then I'm going to say that's probably not the right spot for us. But there's other homes for that kind of content. Nothing wrong with it. I just would like our content to have a different feel and vibe to it, so that, you know, the people that resonate with us will feel a connection to that content that we're presenting.
Right. No, I'm just saying, like, in terms of, like, if I happen to come up with this video, like, maybe I'm a white male American, and I'm like, hey, I want to create I want to have a movie created about, you know, the New York Yankees, for example. I don't know, like, pick something, right? Versus a Chinese man who's saying, I want to create a movie about the Lunar New Year, for example, right? I mean, and like the message about, like, returning home and blah blah blah, right? Which of those would you be leaning more towards, or is there just more like it's
really
very circumstantial?
I'd really have to see it. That's the true answer. I'd really have to see it, because you know, the Yankee story could be very powerful. In all seriousness, there could be stories about, where I was just talking to another creator, they love stories about winning and losing, and they don't mean like sports, and that they just meant the metaphor of winning and losing, and the hustle and the grind, and, you know, but sports actually is ripe with those kinds of stories about heart and spirit, and you know, fighting for something that you believe in, and teamwork, and power of not going it alone. I mean, there's a lot in there that could be unpacked, right? So I don't want to just dismiss it and say, no, I won't do that, right? Because it could be incredible, right?
But I guess the question is, so you're not providing, say, like eyeballs, right? Like for content, like every project is sort of being grown from zero. Is that right, or is there some sort of network effect to being in the network itself?
There will definitely be a network effect. We are also spending money on marketing and PR, and setting up a lot of different paths to help to monetize and to create the buzz around this. Partnerships as well is going to be really big. So we're looking at a couple of significant things in that space as well, to really drive the eyeballs over it.
What do you see are the challenges behind all of this, besides the fact of I guess deal flow, if you will? And, you know, deal flow is more from a VC standpoint, but like the sourcing of these stories. Besides that, what are the what challenges do you face?
I think it's just a few things. Well, one, you know, when folks come in, I think it gets to the earlier part that we were talking about. Like, if people come in with a concept, but they're not sure how to get from A to B to C to Z, right? And really pointing people to the resources, or rolling up the sleeves and working with them, or putting a team in place to help to get it done. I mean, that's really it, right? Because some people are going to come and they're going to be very frankly very sophisticated, seasoned, very seasoned at producing, very seasoned at writing and putting on shows, performing, acting, you know, and some folks may already have a name for themselves. Some folks may not, but again, they're still seasoned at the same time, right. And they don't need a lot of hand holding, right? But others might come in, and again, they've got a wonderful, you know, charisma, vivaciousness, bubbliness to their life, to their personality, right? But they might not know how to write a story. It's okay. But like, we need to help them. We need to say, okay, this is what you need to do if you want to write your story, if you want it to pop, if you want it to come off the page, you want the eyeballs there, then this is what the things you need to do. And you do what you're really good at. And let's help you get the team to help you flesh out the other things, so that you can focus on the things that you're really good at. And that's just how it is for any project, any company, any team that you work with. It's making sure you put the right people there that can execute on the other things so that the people can work on the things that they're really good at the end of the day.
So let's.
I was going to actually do our last question again.
Oh, go ahead, Greg. Go ahead, Greg.
About time. This is a question we ask everyone.
Okay.
Which is just that. What's your advice for builders trying to create tools for creators and networks, kind of at large? Like what are the things that you are most missing to sort of help you be successful? That entrepreneurs and builders out there who may be thinking about how to enter the fray, like how could they be more helpful to both the communities that you're trying to serve as well as business owners like you as well?
Yeah, I mean, I really think that vetting through them. Actually, it's like you almost need a tool. You need like a Yelp for the tools, which I know those exist too. And then you need a Yelp for the tools. But I do think that there is definitely a sincere need for this, because even like on Product Hunt, like you go on there, but there's like all these different apps that are coming out. And I really feel like you need a whole team extension to figure out like which new ones to use. I mean, I literally was just on a call earlier and the guy referred me to 3 new websites and apps that are out there that he's like, well, you know what? Some of these industry people use this other thing, but this is really good because they want to collab virtually when they're, the producers are coming in and they want to like whiteboard it up. And this other really great app over here does this. And, there's so many things out there. And I think that sometimes making your way through all the newest ones in a timely fashion and staying up to date and then testing all of them, I feel like I need like 10 more people just to do that. Yes.
How many people do you have now working with you?
So we have a core team and everyone does different things. So we have some people who are very focused on actually helping us with the pipeline. Other people are actually helping us to source and create their own shows and bringing their shows on there. Other people are what you were talking about, like the vendors. So they will help to produce. Some people will help to actually, do the marketing. So we have some people working on that. So there's some folks that aren't even on the website, but they're doing PR. Then we have a few production people that are not on the website, but they are our latest additions to producing and post-production as well. So there are a lot of different people involved.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah.
Well, Lily, thank you so much for joining us today. It was wonderful to learn about Hyphenova. And for those that are listening and those that are watching, I'll go ahead and put a nice little thing on here. You can go to hype.tv. Oh, come on, internet. Well, hyp.tv is where you can learn more about
good get for a domain.
Yeah, good get. I mean, good Lord, that's a great snag there.
Yes.
But that's where you can go for more information about Hyphenova. Lily, thanks so much for being here. And your applications are rolling, is that right?
They're rolling. They're
Okay.
open and rolling.
Awesome. So if you're a creator, you want to be a part of it, there's open enrollment. Get to it.
Yeah, and Lily will be with us for After Dark afterwards, so we'll see you shortly. But in the meantime, Ken, let's wrap this baby up.
Sounds good.
So what? Why are you bigger? What? Yeah. Wait, is my screen shared? Here, let's get this.
There we go.
Right, there we go. Well, that was very interesting. I mean, it's great to see innovation happening, I think, in the space in general, right? I do think we are at a time where we need new models for organization. We need the day life of a creator is so complicated. Like we are not full-time creators. And so squeezing in the amount of stuff around even just the little work we have to do for a live show is already, I feel like us buckling underneath it. So very exciting to see this. And I hope we wish all the best, obviously, to Lilly and the Hyphenova Network. But moving to next week, just in case you are getting ready, this has been our long anticipated chat with Josh Constantine from Signalfire.
Yep.
Signalfire, in case you don't know, is where the 50 million creator stat is most famously from their creator economy what is that thing called? Roundup report or whatever it may be, but it's provided in every investor deck now in the creator economy. But Josh is an old friend of ours. So we're looking forward to chatting and talking about just sort of like his point of view on the space and what he thinks the winners and losers need to have to be successful.
We're going to get nerdy on this one.
We're going to get super nerdy. So by all means, feel free to tune in next week, same time, 2 p.m. Pacific time, to see Josh Constantine with us. We do have a lot of other amazing guests coming up, though. Justin Moore from the Creator Wizard, or the Creator Wizard himself, sorry, will be here on September 29th. Goldie Chan, our friend from Warm Robots, will be here on October 6th. And Joe, right?
Hurricane. Oh my God, I'm gonna.
Issue is going to be here on October 13th. But of course, we would love. We are. I believe we're basically booked through November. We're pretty close to booked through November. We may have one slot left, but if you do want to be a guest, head over to createeconomy.com/guest list. Of course, if you remember, if you have your AMA coin, you can fast track yourself to the top of the list. Now, we are about to jump over to Create After Dark, so we will see you shortly. In case you don't know, this is our interactive live after show where it's a chance to sync up, chat with other folks, ask the questions you were scared to ask on the air. It is not recorded, but it is an opportunity to sort of get the chit chat a little bit further and learn more. So head over to created.show/live for the additional details there. And Ken, we'll see you over there, everyone, in just a few minutes. Any last closing thoughts?
Nope, but it's great. Another great show, and we'll see you in the after show.
That's right. All righty.
Peace.
Did I not put a button for this one? Yeah, I didn't.
It was so fun to be here.